2013, I was diagnosed
How
with
old were you at that
testicular.
time?
I was about 30 years old. Yeah. So I was diagnosed with testicular cancer for the first time, and that's when things, I guess you could say, started to hit the fan for me. That's when life started to get difficult. Um, I had a testicle removed from that diagnosis, and then I was in the clear for about 4 years when I was diagnosed one more time. Um, they removed my other testicle, and I was okay for about 2 years after that. After about 2 years, I was diagnosed again with cancer. It had migrated to a lymph node in my groin area. It just showed up as a lump, maybe just a little bit smaller than half the size of a golf ball, like a large marble. And I was given chemotherapy at that point, which was very, very tough. And I would say that's where life started to get really hard after battling through that for 9 weeks of being terribly, terribly ill. I was left with a lot of stress symptoms, a lot of anxiety, panic attacks of every nature, some of them very sharp and severe, other ones long and drawn out, more depression symptoms. I started to have heart palpitations at rest. And I wasn't really sure of what was happening. I thought I was having heart issues because so many of the symptoms from having an anxiety attack emulates what you would experience during a heart attack. Chest pain, shoulder pain. But the worst part was the inner dialogue, and is still the inner dialogue. It's almost like there's a conversation going on in my mind where 50% of my brain tells me I'm moments away from suffering a heart attack, while 50% of my brain, the part that I'm controlling, is always reminding me it's just another anxiety attack. You've been here hundreds of times. But that voice always seems to get shut out. I can't control the other voice. I can't always calm myself down. Yeah, like I said, it's a real monster. Sometimes it comes out of nowhere. Sometimes I can feel it first thing in the morning. I wake up and I just feel that tightness in my chest, and I know it's going to be a bad day. I sometimes tell people that it's worse than having been diagnosed with cancer is all the depression and fear that comes after it. But that's okay. I deal with it. You know, I'm still alive, and I
You're still working as
still have a
well.
job to do. So
Yeah, and your job from
yeah,
what I
I'm
hear,
still
it's
working.
pretty. Yeah, so it's pretty physical demanding from what I hear. Is that accurate?
Yeah, I'm a landscaper, and we do snow removal in the winter. And so I deal with the hottest heat, and the sun is very tough. Mostly cutting grass. And then in the winter, we convert, like I said, to snow removal. So I lead a sidewalk crew, and we run hand shovels and snow blowers, and we clear snow as it falls. So yeah, there can be some tough days. I mean, minus 30 is never fun.
Oh,
but
man. Have you ever called in sick because of the anxiety?
No.
So
I think no. I retract that. I think I have taken one. I described it as a mental health day, and my boss was very supportive because he's quite aware that I suffer, and he sees me at work, and sometimes he knows something's wrong, and he'll come up and ask me what's wrong. Are you okay? I just tell him I'm having another anxiety attack. I'm fine. I'll be okay. On with the show, and we push forward.
I'm so inspired and moved by the courage that you have, both mental and physical, because you just described how difficult it can be, and you have a difficult physically demanding job on top of that. So how do you deal with it? How do you pull through? What drives you forward?
I think a big part of it is that I'm just pissed off. I'm pissed off. I'm stubborn. I don't agree with the weakness in myself. Although it's there, I have only one thing that I can do, and that's to fight back every day. And I'm very stubborn, and I don't intend on losing. And so I'm doing small things day to day to try to overcome anxiety. So I mean, I've quit many times, but I'm on day 2 of no caffeine right now because my anxiety has been slowly climbing, and it's the last substance that I haven't cut all the way out. And so one thing at a time. Yeah, so I just don't want to lose. That's the only answer I can come up with. Sometimes I wonder why, why am I here at work? Why am I doing this when I'm suffering? But it's not going away. So what else are my options? Cope, just cope.
You could be sad. I don't know why I said that. It just popped into my brain. You could be sad. It could be in the corners saying, "Why me? Why did I have to be diagnosed with cancer?" Do you ever get these thoughts of disempowerment?
No. I snuffed those out early, just because I'm still here. Like I'm lucky enough to have been diagnosed 3 times, when I know people who have died this year after their first diagnosis. I have a friend, a college friend, who was diagnosed with breast cancer this year, and it killed her. And so it's not that I don't have those moments. I guess I have a lot of fight. I guess that's just part of my personality, to not want to just crawl up and die in a corner. Maybe it wouldn't be fair to the next person who's watching, I guess. I mean,
right.
Sometimes I'm not saying that I'm always tough. I'm not. I have breakdowns. I cry, I punch, I kick, and I fuss, but it still leaves me at the same point. I mean, at the end of the day, it's still the same option. What are you going to do? Are you dead yet? No. So, I mean, that there's the fork in the road. You're not dead, so you have to keep fighting. I've got bills to pay, just like everybody else. And there's bigger people. I mean, there's smaller people with bigger problems in the world, and it's not that bad, really. I mean, and a big part of it, I mean, after going through chemo, you realize what you're able to suffer through. Like, that was 9 weeks of hell. Like, there's no torture that I can think of that's worse than that. I could go on and on about that experience for hours, but I won't. I mean, I'll just say that it was torturous, and that I don't wish it on my worst enemy, no matter what they did. And that after going through that, it just makes hard days seem easy. I mean, the worst day shoveling the heaviest snow for 8 hours, sometimes I'm exhausted. I throw my head back and I just laugh, because it's nothing. I mean, it's just snow. It's just fatigue. It's just another hard day, I mean, and I'm lucky. I have to remind yourself that, you're lucky that you're here to suffer. You might have died. You might not have caught that cancer in time. It might not have been treatable. You could be dead. And so, are you dead yet? No. And so the fork in the road leads me, you get to a fork in the road. Are you dead yet? No. So we go the other way, and you have to keep pushing.